As you can see behind me, demonstrators have gathered. They've erected a tent similar to those seen along San Vicente Boulevard earlier this year and now inside the gates of the VA. They have set this tent up right outside Ted Lieu's office doors in hopes that he will make a statement about veterans' homelessness issues. The 3rd Street Promenade is a prevalent tourist destination, but after the pandemic forced many businesses to shut their doors, it has become a hub for crime, violence, and homelessness. Today, we speak with some local business owners who believe that the underregulated parking garages are to blame for the spike in crime. Andre Butler marks the 2nd veteran this year to be killed at the homeless encampment of veterans along San Vicente Boulevard, which is located just outside the gates of the VA. Today, President Biden is visiting the West LA VA campus Purple Line construction site.
They both had almost the same reply. Not my district, not my veterans.
When someone says not my veterans, how does that hit you?
It's like a knife in the heart, because these are the same people that vote to send us to war.
We're here with Jim, and Jim, you tried to go in and be a part of the meeting that's about to happen. What happened?
We're denied.
The Bologna Creek Trash Interceptor 007 is fully operational. So, how does it all work? Well, we took a trip on board to see for ourselves. Driving on Santa Monica Boulevard here in West LA can be treacherous. And as you can see behind me, a multiple vehicle crash just occurred.
You just sit down and talk with them so that they can ask their questions so they don't feel like they're left in the dark.
Why do you think he hasn't yet?
Because he doesn't want to answer questions about land leases on the property.
Andre Butler marks the 2nd veteran this year to be killed at the homeless encampment of veterans along San Vicente Boulevard, which is located just outside the gates of the VA. Today, we talk with Rob Reynolds, who is with AM Vets, about what is needed right now to help get our men and women of service off the streets.
Andre Butler was a Marine veteran. He's kind of a fixture around the West LA VA for years. I think he was only here for a few days before this whole incident happened. And I'm going to miss Andre a lot. Andre's death marks the second out here this year. When veterans arrive here to get services, the issue is there's a consistent lack of same-day services. And what I mean by that is, if someone were to show up today and they were asking for help, the first thing we would have to do is we'd have to send them over to building 402. A lot of people that show up here, a lot of the veterans that show up here are injured. They're in wheelchairs, walkers, or they have mental health issues, PTSD. The VA is not providing any transportation. This campus is huge. And we keep asking the VA to at least send a shuttle over or something.
The West LA VA campus spans 388 acres in total. For reference, Disneyland is only 100 acres. Veterans seeking services and housing must walk from the Eisenhower Gate to Building 402, which is a 2-mile round trip. It took me around 40 minutes to walk there and back.
Then they have to go to Building 500 and get a COVID test. Then they have to wait for the results to come back in. And the admissions for the inside encampment normally closes between 2:30 and 3 p.m. So a lot of times they never make it within that first day. They're asked to leave the property and come back the following day, and they're not registered in a program. By the time night falls, the VA police are going to tell them to leave, and that's when they come out to the sidewalk. And then we have to go through this whole thing of getting them in again. If you don't have consistent same-day services, if you're not taking them in when they're asking for help, this is what happens. I mean, one of the things we asked a year ago was for the VA to put up some signs. I mean, just signs inside to direct these guys where to go. There's like a lot of simple fixes that can be done just to, at least cut the encampment in half.
When we reached out to the VA for comment, they provided this written statement.
This has been a soldier's home for 133 years. There's been veterans from every conflict since the Civil War that have come here. They will always come here. And that's why it's important that we get this fixed. It's time for action. No one wants these guys on the sidewalk. What goes on here is not the same at every other VA. It's very specific to this location. There's been a lot of promises to build housing that have never come to fruition at all. Years and years of promises and promises and promises, and nothing's happened.